Okay, my name is Spencer Chow. I have lived in Utah for 5 years. I just learned that there's another way to use the doTERRA oil regarding the joy vibrations. I'm so excited this morning because Karyn Grant has taught us about this process. So that's why I'm asking Karyn to create a DVD for us, to show the process with myself and others.
I am Litsie Mcclaud, and I am so excited. I am from Georgia, and there are several people out there that are practicing different things, and I was excited to move here to Utah and find Karyn using doTERRA oils with her music, because the vibrations and the joy of the vibrations that are coming into my life are amazing, and it's exciting to be able to share these with other people, and that's what we're hoping to accomplish by this video.
My name is Karyn Grant, and I am a licensed massage therapist, a vibrational attunement massage therapist, and I like to consider myself the joy coach. This is because I have had a great interest in the mending of broken hearts. I have a great compassion for those who have been wounded in the course of their lifetimes, starting sometimes in utero and in moving through toddler and childhood and teenage years and marriages and sometimes even divorces and beyond that. So in my efforts to create something that could assist with those who find themselves fighting daily to overcome feelings of melancholy or sadness or sorrow on any level, I wanted to create something that would raise the vibration in the human body, in the human experience, to joy. And that is why we have called this the Joy of Vibrations. I am by nature a very happy person. God gave me a very cheerful heart, a merry heart, but I found that coming with that also comes the ability to feel things very deeply. So when I cried hard, and when I laughed hard. And so I had to learn how to balance those emotions and how to care for my emotional well-being. As a child, as a 15-year-old, I began writing music, and I wrote that music all for Jesus. And I remember the day I bowed my head over my guitar and said, I will only write songs for Jesus. And those songs made me happy. As I wrote and as I sang, it made me happy to sing these little songs, and they were all just sweet little tender lullabies. As I grew and I had children of my own, I continued the songwriting practice, and now I was writing lullabies for my children. I would get up nightly to nurse babies back to sleep, open my scriptures, there would be a song for a woman in the scriptures. I continued writing songs for my clients when I became a massage therapist, and I would sing and lullaby my clients on the table, harmonizing along with the instrumentals and with the vocals. And I found that a lot of clients would say, this is bringing me so much peace. I never was lullabied as a child. I don't remember my mother ever singing to me or my father ever tucking me in. And so my process of being a massage therapist and incorporating all 5 senses became an experience that I watched transpire over the course of the last 12 years. Even though I started writing music at age 15, I became a massage therapist at age, 38? No, 40. And so for the past 12 years, I have been doing massage therapy, but I'd like to clarify, I'm only 51, so it has only been 11 years. Anyway, and so as I was in massage school, I noticed that more even importantly than giving a massage was what I began feeling for the client on the table. I began connecting to that person. I began having pictures form in my mind of them happy, whole, and healed. And knowing some of their circumstances, because I was in school with them for a year, I would sense that there could be more joy in their life. And so I wondered, what am I doing in massage school when my true love is for the hidden wounds of the heart and in mending the brokenhearted? And I asked God, will you please help me to let this massage be more than massage and beyond, and go deeper into the healing of the hidden wounds. Now I know and I believe that God is the only one that can heal a broken heart, and I believe that He is the only one that knows every experience that we've been through in life, that He knows what happened when we were 2 and when we were 4 and 7 and 9, We forget all those things. They are recorded in our mind, and through a process called kinesiology, we can access where those wounds occurred, where the original wounds happened. It's not that we are trying to reopen the wound or to relive the experience. What we're trying to do is access the emotional residue that was left over from that wound when it occurred at age 1, age 2, age 12, age 15, age 27, and so on. And so, as I began to develop this process, there was, it was inspired because of my own need. I believe that we catalyst many good things from the needs that we have, and my need was to find a way to increase the joy in my own life without antidepressants, without stimulants, and to find it in a way that felt integral to my heart, which was through my belief in God and through using my own talents. There was a time when I was extremely depressed, when I remember laying on the floor of my living room and crying because I had had a call from one ex-husband 10 minutes ago and a call from another ex-husband 5 minutes ago, and both of them pelting me with negative words and plastering my heart with the faults that they had found about me, and those faults were probably very true, but they were both doing it at the same time, and it was too much for me. It was too much for my tender heart, and I laid there and I cried, and I cried. And a friend came in and found me laying there and actually carried me into my bedroom and laid me on my bed and said a prayer for me. This is where it all began, in that moment. As he prayed, I saw in my mind's eye, not visually, I saw 3 women. I believe them to be my grandmother and my great-grandmother, and the other one I don't know, perhaps their sister. They were dressed in white, and they came and they ministered to me. I saw them ministering, they were stroking me. I couldn't feel the physical presence of touch, but I could feel an energy sweeping around my body and my being. They whispered to me that the physical wounds of a body, a broken arm, a gash to the skin, a rip, a tear, bleeding, is as deep to God as the hidden wounds of the heart, as the hidden wounds of the spirit and the soul. They told me that they would teach me how to minister to souls, how to minister to those unseen hidden wounds of the heart and the mind and the spirit, if I would be open and willing. They told me that I would use my songs, and they told me the names of oils. They told me the power of oils, that oils increase the vibration in the body and help to catalyst the mind out of depressive states, and that I would need to be very open and willing to receive blends and recipes for oils that could do that and synergize with the sound of music and with the power, the compassionate power of touch. As I laid there feeling nothing physical happening to my body, I didn't hear a song, I didn't breathe in an oil, and I didn't feel a physical touch. But these women ministered to my spirit, they ministered to my soul. And I knew that they were sent by my divine creator. I knew that I would never be able to not mention God in the process, that I could never take him out of it, that it would be a lie, and that it would be unintegral to my spirit. Through the past 12 years, I have been able to create music. I have created CD after CD and narrative musical meditation after musical meditation. I went on a journey, and I called it the Journey to Joy, because for me, I didn't know how to sustain joyful moments longer than for 2 minutes at a time. I really had to overcome depression after having my childhood dream of having one happily ever after dashed a few times. In thinking about that grandmother and her mother, my great-grandmother, I remember that I have one possession left from that great-grandmother. And what it is a beautiful yo-yo quilt where each circle has been stitched around and then pulled and synced together and then sewn together, creating this antique, beautiful quilt that I have kept since I was 11 years old when it was presented to me. It's my one possession from her, and I've noticed that the stitches were very, very weak and frail, and so they began to break. over the years. And you can see that there's some breakage here of the stitches. And I thought about my life's experience, and how each one of us are really creating a whole lifetime of experience, but sometimes those experiences are wounded. Sometimes what was supposed to be a happy memory isn't. And so we, as little children, don't know how to heal ourselves. So we carry those rips and tears of our heart on through our lives with us. And then as we grow into our 30s and 40s, oftentimes there comes a time where we want to heal, where we know that life isn't as joyful as it might have been or could be. Some of our childhood dreams have been broken, and some of them have been shattered. And then it becomes time to mend the quilt. It becomes time to mend our broken hearts. Well, as I began to do the process of writing the songs and labeling the oils and naming the oils, I remember one day I was praying and I said, you know, this isn't conventional. This isn't a conventional process. I mean, people go to psychologists to do this work. And a picture formed in my mind, and I saw the arms of a loving creator, and in his hands was a very coarse, harsh-looking wooden kind of needle and a coarse thread. And the thought came to my mind, which would you prefer on your broken heart? And then the picture transformed into a CD of music and a vial of oils, an oil bottle. And the thought came to me, I would much rather have song and scent used on my broken heart. And I began to realize that the vibrations of song are like healing threads. It's like the needle on a phonograph, and it plays the song and it creates the sound and it creates the vibration. And then the music and the oils combined, the oil as you breathe it in becomes like a thread that moves into the body and sends healing vibrations throughout the body. Aromatherapy is that. It is therapy through aroma, even if you never put an oil into the body or on the body. Just by breathing it in, it starts to create a healing fashion. So I keep this on my massage table. I drape it over my massage table as a reminder to me of those grandmothers that came to me and that visited me in 1999 and whispered to me and told me, there's a work for you to do. It's not conventional. Some may scoff, some may laugh, but it's a work that really works. You know, we're all an instrument in God's hands in some way, whether we realize it or not. And some of us have work to do in specific fields, and I believe that my field is in the field of nurturing. There's no college degrees for that. You can't go to a university and say, I want to enroll in your nurturing by nature degree, or I want to take joy vibrations classes. It just isn't out there yet. Vibrational medicine is the wave of the future, though. And so as I began to want to take classes, to know how I was supposed to do this work with mending a broken heart and being an instrument in God's hands with music and oils and massage and etc., I began to pray again and say, what is there? And I started getting brochures in the mail. And they found me through massage school, and they came to me weekly. Join this class for $1,000 for a weekend. Come and learn how to do this modality or that modality. And so over the years, I collected some things. I collected different kinds of DVDs of modalities. And always God said, that was their gift. You have your own. So I put those aside, and I decided I would let God teach me what He wanted to teach me. There was no book, there was no school, there was no education for it. And so it became a hands-on experience. I began to put the songs and the oils together and just began to sing to my clients. And because of that, there were some new tools born. When I was in the 5th grade, I lived in Japan, and I loved this program that the teacher used on us. It was called SRA, and it was reading packets. And we'd start with the first card, and it was a particular color, and we'd read the book behind it, and then we'd pass off the questions, and when we passed that test, we'd move on to the next card. And we'd pull out the next card, and we'd read the little booklet, and we'd write it down. And it was a reading program to help us to improve in our reading skills. Well, as I put this program together, and I have all the cards for each one of the 4 CD sets, And now this is 12 years later after the creation of the first CD called The Healer's Touch. These are now 4 CD sets, and this is The Healer's Touch. And this is the card that goes with it, telling which song and which oil, which doTERRA oil to use when you're doing the process. And the point of the process is that the client lays on the table, and we'll demonstrate that in a minute. The client lays on the table, and you let the oils and the music do the work. You are the compassionate witness. You are the one ministering the eye contact. If they open their eyes, you give them the eye contact that they need. You are the one ministering positive, gentle, nurturing touch. So this becomes a 5-sense experience through the guided visualization. That is for the sense of seeing. The sense of hearing is the music and the musical meditations, the vocals and the instrumentals, which are all included in your CD set. And then the sense of smell is using the oils, the doTERRA oils, or the blends that I have created for this work called Blessings and Blends, and I'll show those to you in a moment. And then the sense of hearing, the sense of touch, the sense of sight, which is the guided visualization, and then the sense of taste, which you can use chocolate for that. I really recommend chocolate. And so that is the process. Now there are several different processes because the next one is Divine Essence, and it has its own card. And each song is listed with the oil, the doTERRA oil that you use. It progresses on like that. Now, not everybody's starting on the same packet. Not everybody's starting on the same page. And so there are 12 of these. This is Awake My Soul. This is the card. What if Spencer needs to be in one packet and Mitzi needs to be in another? How would I know? How would I know? I haven't been there for their whole life, and I don't know all of their life's experiences. But everything is registered in your mind, in your subconscious mind, and through kinesiology, we can actually test the vibration of the CDs and the vibration of the oils, which I would like to demonstrate for you now. Mitzi tested for the Healer's Touch set, which is the 4 CD set, which I have described to you previously. With that comes a little card that states the name of the song and the oil that is used for that part of the process. There's 9 songs and 9 oils. The oils that I chose after researching were, and I'm so grateful to doTERRA for allowing me to do this because they actually gave me a SKU number. So if you want to order the doTERRA oils to go with your Healer's Touch set, you can call doTERRA and order SKU number 4901 or 4902. And 4901 is the 5 milliliter set, except for Terra Shield, which only comes in 15 milliliter. And the 4902 SKU number is for all 15 milliliter oils, except for Whisper, which only comes in the 5 milliliter. So the first oil that goes with the first song is frankincense. Frankincense is an oil that opens the crown chakra and begins the process of letting more light in, more spiritual light, more sweetness, more love, taking the body out of a place of guarded and protection and moving it into, I'm open to receiving what is about to happen. Serenity is the second oil, and it goes with the song Sense of Peace. And I love Serenity. I think we all do, those of us who are using doTERRA oils. It is a beautiful oil that just does carry us into a place of serenity. The next oil that goes with the song Magic Kisses is Ylang Ylang, and Ylang Ylang is for the heart. It's for many of the physical aspects of the heart, for lowering the blood pressure or raising the blood pressure, whatever the heart needs. For those who have tachycardia, oftentimes when we are going through abuse or sadness or sorrow, we will feel our heart palpitating, and Ylang Ylang is a wonderful oil to bring the sweetness back into a heart that's feeling hardened or upset or anxious. Elevation is another one of all of our favorites. It is a beautiful one, and the song that it goes with is Sorrow into Song, and I chose Elevation because it's elevating us from a place of sorrow or melancholy or anxiety or grief or just a slight mild depression into a higher vibration of happiness. Balance brings things into balance and helps to ground us when we are feeling doubt or fear or anxiety. It's a wonderful oil to put on the bottoms of the feet and to just help create that sense of stability and grounding. Terra Shield. Some people say, why did you put Terra Shield in your emotional clearing set when physically it's known as an insect repellent? But I happen to love the scent of Terra Shield because to me, when I breathe it in, I smell chocolate. I don't know what the rest of you are smelling, but I smell chocolate and I love it. And I chose this for the song Flaming Sword because in early Catholicism, they called the sternum the flaming sword. And this song represents the protection for a tender heart so that it can remain in its humble, vulnerable, loving state without having to harden itself to protect itself from this world. So the next oil is Citrus Bliss, and this is for pure love, the song called Pure Love. And the song starts out, what does heaven feel like to you? And for me, heaven feels like citrus orchards and beautiful scents. And I had that experience when I was doing a session on someone who was pregnant, and as I was giving her a massage, the sense that this baby that was on the way soon wanted citrus, wanted so much citrus that I gave her lemon oil and I gave her citrus, all for a baby gift, because this little spirit just seemed to be communicating, heaven feels like citrus to me. So that's why I chose that in honor of Emma. The next oil is Whisper, and the song is Forgiving Heart. And this is a song about getting into a state where we can actually hear those voices that are whispering to us words of forgiveness, words of comfort, words of consolation when we have been left hurting from a wounded relationship. And the last oil for the song Sweet Surrender is Purify, because as we purify those emotions that have been left lodging in our bodies, the residue of old pains and sadness and hurt and anxiety and those wounds that we just can't seem to cleanse, for me, the oil would be none other than Purify, to purify our hearts, to purify our minds, to purify our souls of those hidden, lingering, festering emotions that are just hard to drive out sometimes. So all of this is to access the limbic centers of the brain, which maintain the emotional centers of the brain. And I'd like to share with you for just one moment how powerful aromatherapy can be for doing that process. So it was many years ago when I had that experience with that sweet great-grandmother and my grandmother. I told you earlier that I heard in my, not with my audible ears, but I heard the whispering of the names of oils. And the names were names like Childlike Faith and Sorrow into Song, Sweet Surrender. And so I really wanted to keep the coherence and the synergy of having those names on the oils. So I used the doTERRA essential oil blends and singles to create a line of oils to be used for emotional clearing, for a rest, relaxation, release, and rejuvenation process, which this has become. So each one of the oils has its own recipe using only doTERRA oils, which you can find in the little recipe books. On one side of the page is something to read so that you know the intention of the oil. I remember when my mother first introduced me to oils many, many years ago from another company, she'd say, okay, Karyn, the name of this oil is such and such, and I want you to think thoughts all about the name of that oil. And I'd think, I am abundant, I am abundant, I am abundant, I am abundant. And I didn't know what to think. I didn't know how to formulate thoughts. And so that brought the inspiration of the oil into my mind. So what I did was create a little meditation, some explanation for what that oil is doing, and on the opposite side is the blend recipe. Now the Healer's Touch has bergamot, wild orange, frankincense, balance, elevation, serenity, whisper, citrus bliss, purify, Terra Shield, and ylang ylang in it. And so what's fun is that you have the synergy of all of those oils in one oil that's doing all of these wonderful things. And each one of the oils, as I've shared these oils and passed them around rooms and workshops, people love them. And people are going really excited about getting really excited about the little recipe books.
When I first smelled them, I thought, wow, we should just do perfumes.
They are
They're so yummy.
more perfumey. And for instance, I'll just tell you the affirmation for the song and the oil called Magic Kisses. And if we can find it here, I think it's right here, Magic Kisses. And I'm just going to do this because this is a simple little meditation that you can do on yourself. I'm going to have Mitzi breathe in the oil. I always have to take the first whiff. Mitzi breathe in the oil, and then I will read her the meditation. She can close her eyes, but this is just to anchor in this thought. This blend of oils was created to minister to broken hearts. As a mother kisses away the pain of her child's wound, so does Magic Kisses bring a sense of relief and grounding in times of heartache. This oil works with depression and with PMS. It may be applied to the heart for emotional support. Now you may wonder, why would this oil work for PMS? Because it has clary sage in it. I did put a drop of clary sage in that blend because clary sage is a natural estrogen. So each one of these oils has been carefully created so that it brings about the intention of the song and of the little blessing in the little recipe book.
And who wouldn't want to kiss during that time?
That's
just
right.
a nice, gentle calm.
Well, and the story of Magic Kisses is that when I was a little girl, I would come in from playing outside and I would have scuffed my knee or skinned my ankle or something, and I'd come in and I would be crying. And I remember my mother always saying to me, "You're crying so hard I can't hear the words you're saying." And I would cry and I would be blubbering, and she'd say, "I'm going to give you a magic kiss. And when you get this magic kiss, it will help you to stop crying and it will make all the pain go away." And so my mother would immediately say, "I'm going to give you a magic kiss, blowing you a magic kiss for your scuffed knee or your hurt ankle." And immediately she had me trained that her kisses were magic and that the pain went away immediately. And I remember one time, I remember this moment, I was 5 years old, and my mother, I had come running in, I had just slid down the car, sliced, I still have the scar to prove it, slid down the old 1964 Chevrolet and cut my knee. And it was gushing blood everywhere, and I was crying and screaming, and my mother said, "I'm sending you magic kisses, I'm sending you magic kisses." And I all of a sudden stopped crying. She said, "How do you do that?" And I said, "Don't you know, you got magic kisses." And she always told me that later. When I was 28, I was having some trouble in my first marriage, and I remember kneeling down beside my bed, and I forgot to tell you, my mother would always say, "Point to where it hurts." So I'd be crying, pointing to where it hurt. One day I was kneeling beside my bed, and I was really sad because my husband and I were having an argument, and we weren't getting along very well. And I remember kneeling there, and the thought came to my mind, point to where it hurts. Just like my mother always said. And I pointed to my heart because I couldn't formulate the words. I couldn't express what I was really feeling, this disappointment that we just weren't communicating well. And the thought came, point to your heart. And so I did. And then the thought came to me, just like your mother had magic kisses that she would send to you and blow to you when you were a little child. The Savior's atonement is the magic kiss that can take away the pain in the moment and can take away the wound in the moment. And that's why that was the first oil I created, was Magic Kisses, in honor of my mother. Another wonderful way of doing a relaxation rejuvenation session is in your very own bathroom spa. Just creating a spa in your own bathroom by bringing in a candle, bringing in your diffuser, bringing in your CD player, and playing your CDs. I have a wonderful friend who is in doTERRA oils with us, and her name is Connie Boucher, and she's created these Angel Dream bath teas. These are not teas that you drink.
Okay, I was going to ask that.
These are not teas that you drink. These are teas that you soak in, and so it comes with a tea bag, and there's about 5 baths or 4 baths.
Okay.
That you can create a bath time experience. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to muscle test Mitzi which one of these oils does her body want in her bath tea, because we're not going to put them all in there, so we're going to just muscle test. Permission to test. And we're going to ask if she wants a relaxation bath or a rejuvenation bath right now, because we have 2 different blends. So permission to test Mitzi, circuits in the clear, body willing to access what is most needed at this time. And your body is needing a relaxation, it's needing rejuvenation. So we're going to do a rejuvenation bath, and we're going to test for these blends. Okay, so I don't even see the names, it doesn't even matter to me. I'm very neutral about which blend, and I'm just holding my finger over the blend, and when it gets to the blend that matches the vibration that her body is asking for. Do you feel that, Mitzi, and how strong that is?
I can feel that.
Okay, this is White Angel. White Angel is for the connectivity to the chakra alignment and balancing. White Angel is a beautiful oil. We'll have you breathe this in and tell us truly what you think. That's what I think. I think, I love White Angel. It is a beautiful oil, and it is a synergy of doTERRA oils to create a sense of protection and upliftment, that you're not alone, you're not carrying your burdens all alone. You have ministering angels, and they're assisting you along your path. And that thought would be rejuvenating to me. So that's how you use these beautiful little bath teas that Connie has created, and thank you, Connie. In order to do an effective session, we need to at first create the atmosphere that we want to have in a cherishing place. We can use a massage table, we can use a bedroom, we can use a futon, we can do it on the living room floor with a futon on the floor. We can even do a session in a chair sitting down. What we're going to be doing today, though, with Mitzi's session, is we're going to be using a massage table. You can also use headphones, where both the facilitator and the receiver, the giver and the receiver of this nurturing session, are both hearing the music, breathing in the oils, and having an experience. I created this so that it is very simple, and so that you can use your own gifts of intuition, your own gifts of creativity to create a session that you wish to create. It's not a really complicated session, because what's happening is just the fact that you're doing nurturing strokes, very gentle to the physical body, the fact that you're letting them listen to the music and breathe in the oils at the same time is creating that session for them. There may be some things that come to your mind that you want to whisper to that person on the table. If you know of their situation, you may feel some words come to your mind, and then you can go ahead and whisper to them. I would urge you to not do a whole lot of talking during the vocal sessions, because what ends up happening is they're trying to focus on the voice on the CD and your voice. And so there is an instrumental CD, which is CD number 4, that you can use if you're doing a whispering session, and then you just play the instrumentals behind. And then if you're doing some counseling or some comforting or some assuring, then you can do that with that CD. So what I do, I have a vibrational attunement table, because I'm a vibrational attunement massage therapist. And so that means that the table has vibration in it, and then the receiver wears headphones, I wear headphones, and then the stroke is a vibrational touch. We are not demonstrating that today, but if you would like to get a set of headphones, also if you're wanting to just listen to the CDs as you go to sleep at night, I suggest, so that you don't bother your companion or anybody else in the room, that you can use just headphones and listen to the CDs at a low volume, so that you're not hurting your eardrums, and then diffusing the oils in your bedroom. So for this session, I'm going to just be able to be focused on talking to you as I demonstrate the session for Mitzi. Okay, so the oils have been placed in this wonderful little wooden rack in order, and I love this little wooden rack because it doesn't roll off the table. Before, I was having oils and having to come over here and leave my hands-on experience with her, and this way I can have the lids off of the oils so that I'm not having to stop, take my hands off of her, and just let her breathe in, so that she's always feeling a sense of connection. Be sure that when you put the lids back on, you breathe in the scent that's in the lid, so that you get the right lid on the right bottle. So I'll just take these off. I'll give these to Spencer. And we will begin with the first song. The first song is the Healer's Touch. And what I'm going to demonstrate to you is just a very simple, simplified 9-step protocol. We're going to start at her head. Actually, I'm going to let her first breathe in the oil. So she's breathing in the oil. And then I put a little bit of frankincense on the crown of her head. And always ask if you can do that because they may not want their hair to have oil in it. She probably was saying, Karyn, you didn't ask.
No, I was actually saying wonderful.
So we want the oil to go into the scalp because there's so many little neuroreceptors in your scalp that are taking in information all the time. Plus it feels so good to have your scalp massaged. Okay, so we put it over the forehead, over the pineal gland, and over the lip so that she can be breathing this in right now. Then we're going to put oil at the thyroid and at the thymus. This is your thymus. This is over the thyroid. So that we're getting oil on the glands and the organs in the body. Now, I'm not going to be putting oil over the stomach chakra, but I can give her a little bit of oil, and she could actually, if you were doing a session, you could give a drop of oil to the person laying on the table, and they could put it over their umbilicus or over their third chakra, so that that oil is going directly into the navel. The navel takes in, out of all parts of the body, the navel, even putting the oil into your belly button, actually takes that oil in and feeds the system. And from there, the oil spreads through the circulatory system into the parts of the body that are saying, I need a drop of that. So then we go down and we're just doing soothing, and this is called effleurage, just soothing touch, all the way down her legs to the bottoms of her soles of her feet. So I'm going to have her feet exposed and take off her little stockings.
All right.
So that I can get the oil onto the bottoms of her feet. Very conveniently. Okay. Each song becomes a 9-step process. So if Mitzi was my sister and she said, you know what, I'm feeling so stressed out, can you just do one song on me? I would do the whole 9-step protocol all the way down her body. And that would be through that song. Now, if she has time for a whole entire session and all the songs on the CD, I begin the process again so that she has had that experience 9 times. 9 times the body has felt the communication of compassionate touch. 9 times the body has felt it. Because we always, have you ever had a foot massage and you just felt like it wasn't long enough? So we're just going to continue. So that is one way of doing it. That's the way I'll show you. But if you're a massage therapist or you're a mother or you're a father and you're giving a massage or you're giving a massage to your wife, you can actually do a whole body massage and just break the CD up into incremental parts. But for this CD, we're keeping it simple. Okay, so I'm going to turn on the music. I encourage my clients, if they are willing, if they want to, they can hum. Once they start becoming familiar with the songs, they can hum. This also becomes a chakra balancing. The sound of your own hum vibrates through your body and actually transports negative emotions out of the body. So if they will do some humming, Mitzi was here for a session yesterday when the woman on the table, who is a singer and has sung contralto in the Messiah sing-ins, oftentimes as the solo voice, had not sung for years because her husband told her he didn't like the sound of her voice. So opening her up and having her sing again, she was singing and oohing and ahhing and using the vowel sounds, and tears began streaming down her face, Mitzi's face, and my face, just because the opening of all that was going on was so powerful. This is frankincense, and the song is the Healer's Touch. And over the scalp, into the scalp, just simple. If you like like to sing and if you like to hum, feel free. It's balancing your chakras too.
Time for unbinding, unravel fear by fear. Healing hands can sift your sorrows. Gaze into his eyes. The sunshine always follows every dark cloud in the sky. He healed the sick
And over the thymus. As I'm brushing and sweeping effleurage strokes.
He healed the lame.
Such soothing, comforting, assuring strokes. Every stroke has intention.
Blind eyes saw the sunlight.
And release any stress, any tension.
The ones broken.
Holding the thymus.
Found pure
There's
love
acupressure points
once again.
all through our bodies.
Through faith
And where you touch,
in
doing the healer's touch process is where that energy will focus.
hearts bound in silence, lives paralyzed by your fear.
Now we move to the stomach.
Take my hand, go back in time. Take it tear by tear. Suffer the child to come to.
You can come back to the heart. You're balancing the energy. Just with soothing, compassionate strokes in her physical body.
With the sweet sound of his name, we're on our way to freedom. We're on our way to light, casting out every fear, breaking the old ties. Angel arms have been aching to cradle me in you. Their hearts have been aching to set us free.
Rotate off the fingers, doing things in threes so that the body feels
Sick, bless the weary in spirit. He can heal the lame, crippled feet.
releasing the tension that is moving from her shoulders down her arms and out the ends of the fingertips now. You can talk to the client or to your spouse or to your child and just whisper words like release, let go, breathe.
In his name. He left his touch in my hands when he reached out to save me. I believe his miracle is for all who will receive. His love is the power to loosen our deep burdens. His peace is the gift to set his children free.
We're going to move on down the body. We're going to breathe in serenity.
See your car out there?
Breathing in serenity. And the song is Sense of Peace. Holding the doTERRA blend Serenity over her nose so that she can inhale.
With a touch on your brow, angels
Starting at the top of the head again.
burning hot and find sweet release. A stroke or caress, angel
over her
hands
lips so that she can breathe it,
your soul
and over the
with a
pineal gland.
sense of peace. Oh, know ye not that angels are
Over the
here,
thyroid and the ears.
to comfort
The ears have many reflexology points and acupressure points. So the ears,
soft caress will touch your soul with happiness.
and over the thymus.
Breathe long, breathe deep, my child. Time will see tonight bathe your soul.
The stomach,
Throughout, wash away fear and doubt. Your faith shall make you whole. Oh,
releasing,
that
moving tension out of the body.
coming to comfort you, soothe and cheer. I pray
And do some compression strokes because that feels really reassuring.
touch your soul
How do you like that, Litsie? It's good. This is a wonderful session to do for somebody if they don't want to talk about it. And you are not probably a licensed psychologist anyway, and so it gives you something to do for that person where they don't have to speak, they don't have to bring up the sad memories. They can just let go of the residues of emotions that have been left lingering in the body. I'm going to put some serenity on her feet. An effleurage sweep, starting at the crown chakra, down the head, gathering any tension, energy, any worry, any doubt, any fear, and moving it down the body. Every stroke is graceful. Every stroke has purpose. Magic kisses, and the oil is ylang ylang. Breathing in ylang ylang for a broken heart, for any hidden, lingering layers, rips, or tears, from any time frame.
Upon your wound, an angel's soft embrace can melt away your sadness. Smile peace upon that place. A mother's warmth, heaviness, shadows of pain depart. Magic kisses, tender places to your broken heart. See kneeling there in gentle prayer, an angel bends beside. No sorrow can be hidden there from an angel's eyes.
Again over the ears, repeating.
Magic kiss upon your
Over the thyroid
angel's soft caress.
and over the
Lift
thymus.
away life's deepest pain, embrace with tenderness.
Down the arms and hands.
Kneeling there
little circles. It releases any heaviness from burdens left in the shoulders. Pulls it out at the ends of the fingertips now.
Tender places.
And you might just stop and just hold their hands. There's no set way to do this session. It's just following your intuition and being a compassionate friend or therapist as you sit beside or stand beside your client. And the next oil that accompanies the song Sorrow into Song is elevation.
Carry my sorrows, turn them to song. A sweeter tomorrow, yesterday's gone. Rid me of weakness.
As mothers, as women, as wives, we have so many that need nurturing in our circles. We want this session to be easy so that it doesn't leave the facilitator exhausted and spent and worn out. We want the facilitator to go away feeling like that was so much fun to give. I could do 10 more of those today. And oftentimes you all know at least 10 people in your circle who deserve to have more nurturing and more compassion, more empathy, and more kindness.
He carries my sorrows, he turns them to song. He breaks every chain, breaks every bond. Only one name can I trust with my heart. Letting go shame, sadness depart. Breathing in joy, breathing in love, breathing in happiness, filled from above. Letting go sadness, letting go of pain. My heart is changing with faith in his name. He turns my sorrow into song. He makes me strong. He turns my weakness into strength. I'll conquer at length. He turns my nighttime into sunshine. Fills me with power and light. I am his child, precious in his sight.
And putting the oil on the bottoms of her feet with each song.
My sorrows, he turns them to song. He carries me, cradles me in his arms. I belong, filling my emptiness with peace and rest.
Covering her feet so that they stay warm.
Heaven,
And again, doing compression strokes up her physical body,
mercy, believing in
landing
faith,
at her stomach.
believing in his power, through faith in his name. Letting go of anger, letting go pride and grief. His gifts of healing for all who believe. He turns my sorrow.
Can be used with a body talk session, with a rapid eye session. It can be used with a quantum touch session. You can add music and oils. You can add any of these CD sets. Each set represents a different workshop. For releasing scarcity issues, we have Dancing with Abundance. For connecting creatively and consciously to Christ, we have the morning light and with perfumed oils, connecting women to their righteous heritage of women found in the New Testament. This is for Christian women. I had a woman come one day who was not a Christian. She was a professed atheist. And her friends brought her to me. She started the session by saying, I don't take off my clothes, I don't take off my jewelry, and I don't believe in God. So do what you do, but just honor them. And so I turned on the CD and let her breathe in the oils. I did just gentle strokes like I'm doing with Mitzi, over her clothes, over a blanket. Halfway through the session, she asked me if I would leave the room for a minute and come back in about 5 minutes when she called me. When I came back in, her clothes were neatly folded on her chair with her jewelry on top. She said, I'm ready to receive this. I'm ready to receive what you have to give me. And as I did the session, after it was over, she sat up holding the sheet and the blanket, and she said, with tears streaming down her face, I don't know who you are. My friends brought me here today, but I will tell you that I felt something, and I felt something shift in me. And she said, I think every Christian woman needs to experience this. It looks simple, but after this is over, we'll have Mitzi talk to you and tell you what her experience is just in having gentle, reassuring, compassionate touch. Breathing in balance. Releasing any doubt, any self-doubt, and connecting to childlike faith, to your gift of faith. Oftentimes the lyrics in the song, once you get acquainted with them, so when it says, let childlike faith fill your breast, you can actually put the oil over the pectoral muscles so that her mind is hearing the words. Life's precious path to see your Father smile, a shield of faith defends your heart when the way grows dark. Too long drink deep away. If you're comfortable singing along, humming along once you're acquainted with the melodies or the harmonies, know that your voice, that the power of your voice, the power of your whisper, and what you bring to the session as a facilitator only increases the vibration of the session. You'll notice a little girl's voice singing in the background to this song, Childlike Faith. This is to remind the client, the person on the table, that you were once a little child and you're reconnecting to those childlike attributes, those perfect attributes of childlike faith and pure love that every child is born into this world with. Those feelings and those emotions are trained out of us as we develop survival skills and defense mechanisms that replace those beautiful, pure, childlike emotions. This session is very simple to do for children. It lets them feel a sense of safety. They know that they're going to feel respected and honored. We can use this opportunity to teach our child about positive touch and to let them know that this is positive touch. This is compassionate touch. And that anything that doesn't feel like this isn't good for them, isn't healthy for them. As you put your hand over the heart and over the mind, what you're doing is assisting them in connecting, because now they're in a very relaxed state and they're in a very peaceful state. So they're receiving the words and the messages that you're sending to them. So as you touch those places, it's called anchoring. And you're anchoring in those feelings that you want them to feel as you are doing your session for them. The next oil is Terra Shield. And breathing in Terra Shield. And visualizing that shield over your heart, protecting any feelings of vulnerability. And like Mitzi just moved her hands, she can even put them over her heart and have that connection to that feeling of being and feeling protected and safe.
Sentinels surround you with shield and flaming sword, guiding and defending you, sent to you by the Lord. Gather heaven's sentinels to guide you on your way from the path of darkness into the light of day. With flaming sword, with shield of faith, protect the pure in heart. Light and truth deliver you and quench each fiery dart. Angels now caress your brow, cradle your battle wounds. Noble and great warriors fight for the cause of truth. Bind each wound, bear up each pain, heal your broken heart. Angels
Always trying to remain connected to her.
reveal the healer's art. The flaming sword, the shield of faith, protect the pure in heart. Light and truth deliver you and quench each fiery dart.
The oils are doing their work. The music is doing its work. The compassionate touch is doing its work. The visualizations that are coming up in her mind as different memories may be brought to the surface, or pictures or images are formed in her mind. Or maybe just a blank slate of pure white is forming in her mind, but healing energy. The song is Forgiving Heart, and the oil is Whisper. Big deep breaths.
Speak to me, my heart will listen. I'll close my eyes so I can hear. Still my mind from other voices.
Again, over the pituitary gland at the crown chakra,
My spirit
over the pineal gland,
holding back force
and on the lips so that she can breathe the oil in.
My childlike
The oil encourages you to breathe.
yearns follow.
And the purpose of doing deep breathing in a session, and that's the client's only responsibility, is so that the brain can communicate to all the organs of the body it's time to reboot. And so each one of the organs that is vibrating with its own frequency, resonance, and ratio can actually move and do some self-correction. The body will self-correct and self-heal. We just need to give it the information that it needs, the commands that it needs, or the direction that it needs.
Yearning still
I wrote Forgiving Heart for a woman who was very close to her father. And when she passed away at age 40, her father didn't smile for the longest time. I felt this song come to me for him, from her, to encourage him to smile again, that she was happy.
To her father's plan, I hear thy voice sing in the darkness. Child, you need never walk alone.
As you do cranial unwinding, it looks like a dance. It feels like a dance. It lifts burdens from the physical body and actually releases energetic weight stored in the body. I'm not forcing her arm, I'm kind of letting her direct me, but I'm staying connected to her the whole time.
Can you believe this child is nearing, yearning still to see her father smile? For the tree we sit together, each blossom sweet.
This father and daughter had a favorite tree. It was a magnolia tree. And when I wrote the song, I didn't know about the magnolia tree. And when I wrote the words about the doves in the heavens, I didn't know that they had released doves at her funeral. It was just a picture that came to my mind of doves flying as I wrote the song for her father. And when it was all done, and I sent the song to her father, the family asked, "Did you go to the funeral? Did you know that they released 10 crates of doves? 100 doves were circling in the sky." I didn't know about the magnolia tree, but I saw the doves in the tree. Each blossom sweet becomes a dove. Our mind's eye is powerful. The power of visualization is something that God can really work with to give us messages, to bring us hope, to bring us comfort. We just have to open our mind's eye and be willing to see.
To see once more my father's smile. To see once more his little child. Tell me what heaven looks like to you. Your life is
This song invites the person on the table to visualize heaven. We're going through stresses in our lives. We are not all on the same vibration with every member of our family. We're not all living in a synchronized realm of love, joy, and peace 24/7. We get pop quizzes all throughout the day of how we're going to respond to situations when they suddenly come up. This song is to help the client to go back into, oh yeah, I remember what heaven looks like to me. The oil is citrus bliss, which all of the citruses are very elevating to the mind. They can actually open up and interrupt a negative cyclical thought pattern. So someone who's in depression can actually be lifted out of that depression by breathing in citrus.
Seeing love through your eyes helps you see love through mine. Paint a picture together that will sweeten our lives. Color sweet dreams forever. Color your dreams and mine. I share what heaven looks like to me. It's not far away nor long ago. Feels like you. Feels
all of those positive, happy emotions. Connecting to them now, connecting to someone you love.
If my picture of heaven deepen your mind, if seeing love through your eyes helps you see love in mine, let's paint a picture forever. Let's change our lives, colors bring dreams together, color your dreams and mine. Love lasts forever. When we see love, eyes to eye.
If you feel so impressed, you can just sing to your client with the instrumental. In closing a session, there have been many times when I've just gone back to the Sense of Peace song and the oil and just sung to the client on the table. Just continuing the strokes, letting them ground and anchor in all of the emotion, the new tenderness, the new awarenesses, a thought that might have come to them to interrupt anything that was burdening their heart before the session. And breathing in.
As the sickness, the weary in spirit, He healed the blind, crippled feet will dance again. Like eyes will soon see sunlight, ears will bird singing once. Broken heart will find love once again.
And just continuing the strokes, using that instrumental CD to just let it all just fill in the moment. The client may have some words that they want to share with you. They are welcome to share, but you never expect them to share. They've just had their own private experience, their own personal experience on the stage in their own mind. Their body has experienced something, reassuring touch, the scent of the smells, the sound of the songs, the sound of the soothing instrumentals, the new thoughts that maybe they've never thought about before, presented in that way. So just letting them take that in. You can let them lay on the table with the instrumental CD for a half hour if they have time and if you have time. Or you can just close with an extra instrumental song. Remembering that you are the instrument, God is the healer, and that He needs more hands, He needs more loving eyes, more it's a completely different experience to receive this experience. And so I wanted to show you that I'm really good at receiving. So Mitzi's going to do a portion and share with you her experience in performing sessions for her family and her loved ones.
What I'm going to say is that when I came from Georgia, this was all new to me, and this is still pretty new to me, except for the experiences that I've had. I've actually done a couple of Karyn's workshops, and it was actually very informative and very enabling me to go and feel confident in sharing what I did learn, and go and share it with whoever and everyone that I could, just because I wanted to practice this skill. And so with that, I have gone to neighbors and friends and even my own daughters. I have 4 daughters and I am a widow. And so being a mother, I want to nurture them and help them. And after your husband dies, and I don't know if I'd ever wish that upon anybody, but when you do have a death of someone in the family, sometimes you forget to hug and hold and able to feel and help reassure when your heart is broken. You feel like it just can't be fixed again. And so to be able to use this with my daughters, especially with a couple of daughters in particular that don't want to touch or don't want to feel anymore, where when they have been sick, like just, Mom, I don't feel good, I've been able to use the oils. And when I bring in the music and when I bring in things, there has just been experiences that have been amazing. And it's been through the touch and the music and the oils all working together to help create something that I by myself couldn't do. So I'm extremely grateful to Karyn to bring this to me, because of this, I've been able to help my daughters heal in a way that though their dad is not here, he's here. And that has been very healing to them and has helped them progress in their lives. And that's one of the things that has helped me feel like, as a mother and now, a widow, I can go forward and feel like my daughters can go forward as well. And also neighbors and friends. I have a sister who does doTERRA oils as well, and she's the one actually that introduced those to me. And it was just really fun, because when she first introduced me, I was like, I'm not there right now. But as she said, encouraged me, and now to bring in the massage and to be able to do this session, it's just been really, really fun and very easily to do. As Karyn was saying, there's different techniques, and you will find your own technique. And what I do is have them breathe it in this way so that I don't have to hold the lid. And this is a map of the body as well in the hands. And I just encourage them to listen to the music. Take a deep breath in. Watching their breath. And according to the song, you want to listen to the lyrics and learn the lyrics so that you can be more effective, because the vibrations and the words, we all listen to the radio every day and the effect it has on us.
Time for unwinding past forgotten. Time for unwinding, unravel fear by fear. Healing hands can sift your sorrows. Gaze into his eyes. The sunshine always follows every dark cloud in the skies. He healed the sick, blessed the weary. Spirit, he healed the lame, crippled feet danced again. Hearts bound in silence, lives paralyzed by all fear.
Take a deep breath in.
Take my hand, go back in time. Take it tear by tear.
Sometimes using the rotation takes them back.
Left alone, so afraid. Let's lullaby that little one.
Encouraging them to smell their hands because it has the frankincense on it.
We're on our way to freedom.
Frankincense, when you put it with any of the oils, it enhances it. So frankincense all by itself is amazing. Remembering where it came from.
Angel arms have been aching to cradle me in you. Their hearts have been aching to set us free with this truth. He can hear the sick, bless the weary in spirit. He can heal the lame, crippled feet will dance again. Blind eyes will soon see sunlight, deaf ears will hear birds singing. Your once broken heart will find love once again. In his name.
Encouraging that energy, the negative out, and the faith to go in.
Felt his touch in my hands when you reached out to save me. I believe his miracle is for all who will receive. His love is the power to loosen our deep burdens. His peace is the gift to set his children free.
The song itself is like a dance, and as you do the massage, feel it and think about how it can move through and how it can help enhance the oils and help. That's what you're trying to create.
In closing, this was just a simple video to explain the simplicity of this beautiful, sweet, tender process. It's a process for those who feel nurturing is one of their gifts and maybe just don't have all the tools and know exactly how to go about it. It's not for singers. It's for those who love to be sung to. It's not for those who have spent $20,000 on education in massage schools and other therapies. It's just a simple session to access your own gifts of nurturing, your own gifts of giving, your own gifts of your own healing touch. And so I just want to thank Litsie for that beautiful, sweet session that even as she began, I felt tingles just moving down my body, just those electrical energies, just those vibrations just moving through my body. And at the end, just felt to sigh and to release some of the own personal anxieties maybe going on in my own personal life. The facilitator needs to receive these sessions as well as those who do come for sessions. And it's so wonderful because it is something simple. I one day had a woman named Amy who came in for her session and said, "Today my session is to give you a session, Karyn. So I want you to lay down on the table. I've learned to sing the songs and I'm going to use the oils on you." She spent her hour-long session that she was supposed to be on the table nurturing me and giving me a session. And before that point, this was like 9 months into this whole thing 12 years ago, I had never really experienced being the receiver. It is different to receive than it is to give. Both are very healing. To be the giver, it accesses you and connects you to those nurturing maternal gifts that maybe you haven't been connected to yet. You can't give what you haven't yet experienced. And so I encourage you to find someone, a partner, another doTERRA rep that you can do a session with, and you can be on the table and they can be on the table, and you can share the experience, and you can feel for yourself what it's like to receive it. You can teach your teenage daughter to do this. I have husbands and wives who come to me saying, we just held each other and listened to the CD and diffused oils in our bedroom and just had pure, sweet compassion as we listened. It can be done in so many diverse and variety of ways that none of my sessions are alike. There is no wrong or right way. There's no specific protocol. It's just gentle. It's just tender. It's just accessing the gift of nurturing that is within you. 12 years ago, I had a vision. And in that vision, I saw my grandmother, Grandma Kay, and her mother, and their sister, come and nurture me. This is a pillow that was made from the fabric of my grandmother's favorite chair. And all I could salvage of that chair was just enough fabric to make a little pillow out of it. It sat in her living room where beautiful music was played and where my grandfather, who had a stroke, led music with his baton. This is the quilt that my great-grandmother made and that was passed on to me when I was 11 years old. These are symbols and emblems of those generations that have nurtured those who came to follow after them, who nurtured my mother. I remember my grandmother. I never met my great-grandmother, but I had a mother who tucked me in every single night and who whispered to me and told me stories and sang to me, and who taught me the importance of a mother's nurturing love. And I want to dedicate this to my grandmother, to my great-grandmother, and to my mother, who is now 80 years old, and who I go and see, and I tell her, Mom, I don't know that you know all the wonderful things that I'm able to write about you, or the legacy that you gave to me to pass on, not only to our generations, but to the generations of women who also deserve to have a mother's love and to have a mother who tucks in and who tucked them in. We didn't all get to experience that as children. This isn't to bring up that pain, but to go back and heal that wound, to go back and solace and nurture with kindness, empathy, and compassion those feelings in the heart that deserve to be felt.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Allen, and I've known Karyn since we were back in college, 19 years old, and I have seen her talents just flow and grow over the years, and she has always been so inspired, and I love her work. I love how it has fed me, the sessions that we've had. Karyn herself is very inspired. Her work is very inspired. It's from her heart. It's a wonderful, wonderful work. She really has incorporated every sense to create healing, and I've learned just how important that is, to work through the senses. And I love Karyn. I love her work, and just how inspired she is, and how from the heart she's always loved people. People have always been drawn to Karyn and loved her, and it's because she is so full of heart and so full of love, and her work is very heart-centered, very love-centered, very Christ-centered, which is important to a lot of people. And I just hope that know that you will love the oils, the music, and the messages of healing and growth and joy that she brings to the world. Thank you.
Aloha, I'm Letty Jackson. I lived 37 years on Oahu, Hawaii, but my friend who lives here, Sue, had told me about Karyn for years and years and said, you must go to her. I finally moved here, and I finally did. And my husband had passed away, And so I was really craving healing touch, and came to Karyn, and she just gave me the most wonderful massage, and I was a little depressed and sad, and we just had the most beautiful experience. We felt my husband there, and both cried just a little, but it was joyous and glorious. And she always wants to switch out the music when I come for a massage, but I have to listen as she's doing it to Angel Kisses on Your Wounds. And angels are with us, healing us, and Karyn's one of my little angels. I just really have found such healing, and also it was fascinating to me that her little hands just know where to go. I have lower back issues, and had been going also to a craniosacral therapist. Karyn knows how to do everything they know how to do, and though it smells good and sounds good, and she's just so full of love in the spirit. All right, I hope you'll try it too.
Hi, I'm Suzanne King, and I've known Karyn for many years. When I heard that she was an aromatherapist, massage, singing person, I said, I've got to try this. So I took my mom, and she told my mom, who's had 11 children and a very hard life, that she had these very strong shoulders that have borne up so many burdens. I mean, it was right down the line. It was so comforting to my mother. Then I took a sister who's been lost in the drug world and in, a list of things that goes with that. And she had so many tears that brought up such a healing experience for her. And I was so grateful that I knew Karyn to take my sister to when she was here visiting from California. I have taken my foster son, and he was able to see himself in a much more positive light. He had made so many mistakes in his life. And Karyn said that when she was anticipating his appointment that day, that she got up at some crazy hour, and it was around Christmas, and she sat on her heart, and she just meditated of what she would tell him, and she just found the words that she wanted to impart to him, and she strengthened him so much. And so that's my approach with Karyn, is to bring people that are in my world that need strengthening. And I have to tell you that I'm sitting there writing down something that they can take away and remember. And on this one, look at all these notes. This is just from her music. But the last song, I hope I can get through this, but she made a song about what does it feel like to be God, and how does it feel to heal one crying child and let another die? Because so often we think, okay, God's going to solve it all. But we know that on this earth there are children that are starving, hungry, children that are victims of war, all kinds of abuse. And what would it be like to be the God of a family of men going through all these things? And then she said, how does it feel to be God of the earth and of the sky? How much it hurts to hear my children laugh while still some cry. So she is amazing with putting together words. She told us once that when she was something like 4, she was saying her prayers in rhyme, because it's just her gift, and also the gift of inspiration. So I recommend that you get in touch with her music, her work, and it's brought so much joy and healing to my life, my friends.
Karyn Grant is one of my very dearest friends. She is a very gifted individual. She has the gift to put words with music through song, and then combining that with aromatherapy and oils to create the beautiful message that she has through her Healer's Touch, the Lullaby Connection, and many of her other series of CDs. I highly recommend to be able to get to know Karyn, get to know her stuff, and to be able to use it in your home, a healer in every home, a nurturer in every home. And I really feel that the things that she has done will help to bring about nurturers in every home. She has created something that I think is unique, that only comes through someone who's been inspired to share the messages that she's sharing, and utilizing all the 5 senses to do that. I look forward to learning all of the things that she's created with her song and music, and using them in my home and with my teachings that I will do with my programs. And so I hope that you'll enjoy them as much as I have.